I guess we could just start off. Maybe if you have anything you want to ask me or say to me, and then we can kind of go over your video after, or whatever way you want to
Um,
do it.
well, I did watch your recent live stream where you reacted to the conversation I had with Smash JT and Ryan,
Yeah.
and I timestamped a couple of moments in there where I don't think you fully understood what I was talking about, or I don't know if you were like making light of it or like messing around with your chat, but some of it I feel like you took out. You either didn't listen because you said I think you said you were eating, but there were parts of it where like I'd like to go over and clarify. All right, so do you want to bring up the live stream just so you can make sure that I'm not like lying or anything, or do you want me to just go over it?
No, I believe you.
All right, cool.
It's fine. I got a good memory. Good.
Yeah, so there was a couple of things that happened in the live stream that you were reacting to. The first one that I noticed was that at the 32-minute mark, you were talking about Abu Bakr making everything about race,
Yeah.
and then you said, if he's making everything about race, why can't we make jokes about it? And later on in the stream, you went on to mention how people are soft when it comes to these sort of things, and I at no point said that people can't make jokes about it. I said to Ryan that it's a little bit of a weird place to make the joke, and that although Abu Bakr was speaking about race, he was speaking about something that was quite serious to him, about his dad passing. And so my comment was more centered around you can make jokes about it, but at the end of the day, it seems like a serious thing for him, and you guys are making fun of it. So you should probably understand why people would get annoyed.
I mean, we do understand why people will get annoyed, though. Like, I think the common misconception is that people getting mad over what we said is us. Like, we're freaking out over the fact that people are getting mad. Like, I don't care. Like, people are allowed to feel and say what they want to say regarding what they think we said, or how they feel about what we said, or whatever. That's perfectly fine. People are allowed to have their criticisms. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right.
And
Okay.
in terms of his dad passing, you can't lead us, in my opinion anyway. Of course, this comes from just my personal belief. You can't start off something saying, that's fine, you can make jokes, but, or, you can do this, but you can't say you can do this and then put a but at the end, because then that just means you really can't do that. Right. Like,
That's
or
not true.
people feel like, yeah, it is. Because if you say, well, you can make a joke about that, but it's not the right time, that but means that you shouldn't make the joke then. But I believe you should be able to make a joke whenever you want, however you want,
No,
and
I
that
don't
doesn't
believe
mean
that.
that you're free from criticism, though. I want to make that very clear. It doesn't mean that you're
Yeah.
free from criticism. Doesn't mean that you're free from backlash or people getting mad at you. Absolutely not. But if you're going to say you can make all jokes, then make all jokes. Otherwise, then you really can't. At least that's how I
No,
view it.
at no point have I ever said you can't make the jokes though. At no point during a live stream, because if I felt like you shouldn't, then or it should be something that should never happen. I would have mentioned that. But my point to Ryan and Smash was that you can make the joke if you want, but you can't tell people they're weak because they responded. What seems weak to me is saying things on a podcast and then trying to curate how people respond. That you should be willing to accept whatever rhetoric comes your way.
Well, I think you can say that people are weak if, let's say, it's a joke that's racially motivated, right? Or in that case, it's a joke that obviously is racially charged. I think you can call people weak when there are people that are in the chat who are of that skin color or who are of that background, and the majority of which did not find any offense to it whatsoever. Some of them found it to be funny. I've gotten jokes thrown at me as a Puerto Rican guy that other people might find offensive, racist, whatever. I laugh at it. I throw it off. I don't care. So yeah, I think you are allowed to have the opinion that some people are weak, that they can't handle certain words and let words have power over them to that magnitude. Doesn't mean that, again, the criticism can exist, but you can find somebody weak, in comparison to other people who don't find offense in what was said, at least to the level that was portrayed on Twitter, let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you were lumping me in with people on Twitter. When I was watching the video, I couldn't really tell whether you were
I
putting
don't
me in the same category
buddy.
as them.
No, I don't
Sorry.
lump you in. I don't lump you in with anybody. I talk to everybody separately.
And the other thing I wanted to say is that you did on this topic, you mentioned that people have made comments to you, and Ryan said things to you in private, and that if people saw the things Ryan was saying to you, that it would sort of dispel all of this. But I think there's a difference between friends talking to each other or you and your community talking, who from the looks of it, you've built up like quite a rapport and a level of trust with them versus complete strangers talking to you. Because I'm sure you can probably appreciate you and Ryan could be out and he could call you all manner of offensive language, but because you're friends, you're not going to take any offense. But if a complete randomer turned around to you and just started saying it to you, you'd probably look at them sideways.
I'd honestly laugh in their face.
All right, but as a general thing, you can understand why human beings react that way.
I can, and I never said that I can't, but what I'm telling you is that I can have the mindset of I can view other people as a little bit softer or weaker, considering that they'll let words like that have power over them, especially when it gets to the point of wanting to act physically. That's where I say, okay, that's a little bit weak in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the physicality part of that that was my mistake. I didn't speak about that the way I should have. Obviously, that's an element of it. It's reality that if you say things to people in person, that something might happen. But what I was trying to get at is that that's just not how people speak. People do not do that in person. It just doesn't happen.
Some people do, and it does lead to fights and whatnot. It does happen.
Though.
If you ever been in a bar where people get drunk off their ass and things get a little bit heated and people say dumb shit, before you know it, you got a little bit of a brawl going on. That doesn't mean that what was said is going to suddenly disappear, or you're going to try to suppress someone's thoughts or jokes or whatever through physicality. Because the main thing I disagree with you there with the constantly bringing up of would you say it in someone's face. The main issue I have with that is that by threatening someone physically or saying that, well, would you say it to someone's face? That doesn't mean anything to me, because ultimately the person clearly wants to say it. And by threatening them and being physical with them or saying that you might be, not by you, I'm just saying in general, but like if people say they want to be physical in general, that's not going to make what someone thinks goes away. If anything, you're going to radicalize them even more. And sure, Ryan might get his ass kicked by 10 black guys. It's not going to change how he thinks. It's not going to make him say, oh, you know what? Shit. All it's going to say is, you know what? I just got beat up by 10 fucking black guys. And I was genuinely just joking. You know what? Fuck him. Don't even now.
I never said that it would change how he thinks. I was just trying to explain to him that that's just the reality of life. Like if you do those things outside, those things will happen to you. It's not that I would beat him up or that I'm advocating for anyone to. That's just how life is.
Right. And I understand that. Like everybody knows, like if you say certain things in real life to certain people, there is a chance that you might get a certain response for that. There's no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't have the right to say certain things. That's basically it.
It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the right to say it. He has the right to say it. Like I'd said to him in the conversation, he can say it. He just needs
But if that's the case, why constantly bring up, will he say it to someone's face? Because that doesn't, if he has the right to say it, right? There's no reason to bring up, why would you say that to someone's face? That means absolutely nothing to the conversation over whether or not it doesn't.
The reason that it means something is that if Ryan was making a controversial talking point, like I watched your video about Mortal Kombat 1 and Cyrax, and you lot were commenting on Cyrax and Wakanda. And I thought that was completely valid because we've seen that style of black character portrayed everywhere, and it's annoying. It irritates everyone.
It's a stereotype, yeah.
Yeah, and you lot were making legitimate points. It's an annoying stereotype. That hairstyle, the Killmonger hairstyle, has been overdone. And in that conversation, even though jokes were being made, in the context of that conversation, it made complete sense, and the arguments you put forward were completely valid. In Ryan's case, I actually went through your live streams because I heard you make the comment that it's impossible to miss the jokes. The first time I did miss the jokes, I probably didn't watch enough. So today I sat around watching some. I came across the jokes, but again, Ryan doesn't make any controversial statements that moves the conversation forward. Ryan just blurts out racist shit. So it's completely different to challenging people and saying controversial things that might upset black people than just coming out of random dumb shit.
Well, it's not that he just targets specifically black people either. Like, let's be clear,
No,
Ryan.
He doesn't.
And again, I'm not
multiple things.
I'm not like defending him. He could defend himself. You already obviously spoke to him. But what I'm saying is, he's made jokes about other races. But nobody ever seems to care about those, which again, I find ironic. And it's the consistency that bothers me the most about people's arguments. But overall, when Ryan says certain things, Ryan has the comedic effect of a fucking edgy 10-year-old kid. Let's just put it like that. And we have very, very, very blatantly made fun of him multiple times for his terrible sense of humor. And out of the 10 jokes he says, one will potentially land if he's lucky. It's kind of the reason why we have the drum sound to begin with on the stream, by the way, was specifically for Ryan and his terrible jokes. But at the end of the day, even if we don't find him funny, or maybe we did find it funny, if other people didn't find it funny, he still has the right to say them. And to call him racist, I find it ironic that the people, and not just, it's not you, it's more so people on Twitter, but the people who are calling Ryan racist, I find it incredible because they're content creators that I look through some of their streams. They never once had a black content creator on their stream at all. And yet Ryan has had multiple and showcased them on stream and had conversations with them on stream and showcased them as rising stars and everything. So I just find it a little bit odd, you know, to throw the claims out there.
I can't speak for other content creators. I can only speak for myself.
Right. That's why I said it's not you I'm talking about. It's just consistency in general.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lack of consistency across the board with a lot of things. But Ryan made a comment, and I don't know if you lumped me in again, so I'm just trying to get clarification.
Sure, go ahead.
At the 36-minute mark, he made a comment saying that originally it was you and Smash JT that was targeted with what happened when Ryan made those comments. And you paused there and you said facts, and they wouldn't have cared. It was only after Ryan made a statement. But I didn't know if you were putting me in there because I very clearly targeted Ryan specifically. It was only Sammy, like a very minor moment. It was mostly Ryan that I was talking about.
No. So Ryan was talking about the overall backlash on Twitter, and I was responding to that overall backlash on Twitter. So like the stuff that was happening on Twitter, people took it as an opportunity to come after me because, truth be told, that's who they really want to go after. They want to go after me and Smash JT. They don't give a fuck about anybody else, to be real with you. They're not going to go after Atreus. He's black. They don't care. They're not going to go after fucking Grums because Grums is already hated. He doesn't care, and he's not a permanent member. So they're already trying to do what they want to do with Grums. Will the fans? He's a smaller creator. They're not going to go after him. Truth be told, they're going to just go after me and Smash, which is exactly what they did until Ryan decided to make a statement owning his comments on the show as him and himself. And truthfully, even after he made that comment, people still chose to go after me anyway, because again, that's just how it works, right? And people have the right to be mad. It's okay. People have the right to say what they want to say, but let's not pretend like they didn't try to take it as an opportunity to weaponize, against somebody they've been trying to take down for, I don't know, fucking year or more now.
Yeah, I can't speak for them. I was just trying to get clarification if you were lumping me in with them. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to what other people are doing. I was just trying to get my point across.
No, not at all. He was talking about Twitter in general, so I was talking about Twitter in general at the time.
Okay, no, that's fine. There was another moment where Ryan very clearly said that he does not take this situation seriously. And when I asked him again, he referred to his own content when it comes to DEI. And you responded by saying that I was being a bit unfair there because he wasn't talking about all of his content. But I went back and listened to it twice. He was talking about his content. He wasn't talking about the Rising Star stuff. He was talking specifically that he doesn't find any of this to be serious, and that when he jumps on these shows, it's just having a bit of a laugh. So when I called him and his content a joke, I think I was valid in saying that. But you seem to think that I was pulling at straws and I was taking out of context.
Well, because I think when he says he doesn't take it seriously, I think he means from a career standpoint or just overall, like actually doing YouTube for any sizable gain or monetary gain or anything. He's just the kind of guy that just goes on YouTube and talks his shit. You could say for fun, or I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know, because again, Ryan can only speak for himself. But from the looks of it, I've always taken it as the guy who likes to go on YouTube and just talk with people. I don't think he talks to a lot of people in real life, to be honest with you. So he tends to go online, and his entire spiel and how I met him was he focuses on highlighting creators of all different kinds and tries to showcase them in like his Rising Star videos or Rising Star Who Made It or whatever. So that's what he likes to do. And he just likes to talk to people. Is he an edgelord? Absolutely. We all know this. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. But again, he has the right to be an edgelord if he wants to, no matter how fucking cringy it is. That's his right.